Okay. If you are in sales, if you're in marketing, or you run a company, we are beginning the Owners Managers Conference. Our objective this afternoon is simple. We're going to try to take over the world. Maybe we should shoot a little lower than that. Let's just be profitable. Let's start by being profitable, then we'll take over the world. Agreed? All right, good. I agree. So we're going to talk about marketing, and we're going to talk about it from an actionable change perspective. I'm going to tell you what you need to be doing, but a lot of this stuff is fluid. We can argue a little bit back and forth on what's working and what's not for you in your marketing campaigns. We're going to talk about sales. I consider myself a professional salesperson. So we're going to talk about sales from the perspective of the sales cycle, following that cycle each and every time you're put into that situation. Finally, we're going to talk about something you hate, math. But it's necessary. It's the accounting that is necessary to make sure that whether we hate math or not, we can count our money. Because without accounting, there's no money. So we're going to go over that as well. We're going to look at what we should be charging per man hour, and we should look at what we can do to make sure we're recruiting and retaining the best people. So let's start with marketing. And marketing to me, well, is a soapbox. That's standing up on top of a soapbox, yelling out to the community, I'm here, and you should do business with me. So what do I mean by marketing? I mean things like magazine ads and those kinds of things. Those are traditional marketing campaigns. Now, I want you to take notes. I want you taking pictures as we move through this afternoon. The first thing I want you to write down, please start with this, is traditional drives digital. Write that down. Traditional drives digital. We're going to keep going back to that phrase. Anything we do from a traditional marketing perspective, our whole objective is to drive digital. We'll get back to that. So what do I mean by traditional campaigns? I mean things like newspapers. Show of hands. Who's ever heard of a newspaper? Who's ever heard? It's a joke. They're dead. Forget them. Still running ads in newspapers? Stop it. Yeah, there's a couple out there, but they're done. Magazines, in fact, are dying, but they're not done yet. Subscription rates, newsstand, way, way down. But there may be some opportunities where you might want to continue running magazine ads. Flyers, postcards, lawn signs, home shows. Those are all traditional marketing campaigns. And when we spend our money on them, our objective is to drive digital. We're going to get back to that in a second, because digital is forever. It is always there. It never goes away. So what do I mean by digital campaigns? I mean websites, social media, ads, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, social media, and social media marketing. And we're going to give you some actionable change items that you can incorporate into your company to get more rings and more dings. That's what we talked about earlier. So anytime we have a marketing campaign, traditional or digital, we always have these 5 objectives. Number 1 is repetition. You should take a picture of the screen or start writing this stuff down, please. Repetition. What does that mean? That means you cannot hit somebody one time to get them to do something. Marketers will tell you it takes between 3 and 13 hits to get somebody to react, to somebody to create an action. One time, not enough. Volume. What do I mean by volume? I want to get one more job. Okay, that means I got to talk to 10,000 people so that I can talk to 100, so that I can sit at a kitchen table with 10, so I can get one job. That's the volume it takes to generate anything in marketing. So you have to get the right number of people. Audience. And a lot of people get confused here when we talk about audience. They think it's very simple. We'll just market to rich people. Let's just market to rich people. Okay, if you work for rich people, then yeah, if you're building $150,000 to $500,000 landscape packages, then yes, you should be marketing to rich people. Otherwise, you should market to the people that you like working with, that they like working with you, and they can prove it because they refer you the most. So if you typically work with young couples, with young kids, on smaller projects between $25,000 and $35,000, well, then that's the audience you should be marketing to. Does that make sense? Find that audience and reach them. Message. The message has to be clean. And we're going to do a little exercise today, and we're going to look at some traditional marketing campaigns that I think are cluttered, that I think are a little too busy. We're going to clean them up. Now, you can argue with me, and I welcome it. We'll have that discussion. And timing. Timing is very important. The number one most searched item on the internet for outdoor living is what? Who knows what it is? Fire pits is right. Does that mean I want to start my April ad campaign centered around fire pits? No. Because coming off of this winter, I don't want to think about sitting in front of a fire. I want to think about swimming in water and laying out in the sun. If I'm going to run ads for fire pits, and I will, I'll run them in the summer. I'll run them in the spring, a little later in the spring, fall, and early winter, because that's the right time for those campaigns. Make sense? Okay, these 5 objectives in mind. So let's look at a traditional marketing campaign. Let's pick it apart. Let's find what we like and don't like about it. This is an ad written by a company that we worked with last year on Showcase. The name of their company is Cedar Springs. This is a magazine ad, and they gave me permission to pick it apart, and we can talk about what we like and don't like about it. At the top of the page, it says, "A backyard to escape to." Do you like that? A little tagline, that little saying, like that? Yeah, I like it. It's fine. I'm not okay with it. Right? There's a little paragraph here in the middle. It says, "Travel is great, but your backyard is a place you can escape to every day. No parking, no lineups, no boarding passes. Check out our 5-star..." Show of hands. How many people think the homeowners are going to read that paragraph? Yeah, you're right. 0. None of them will. So does it need to be there? Again, a nice, clean message. It is getting cluttered with that information. We get to something I really like now, which is this word right here. It says visit. Visit, like, friend, follow, call. All those words are action words. And I love action words because it invokes them to do something. It makes them want to do something. Then we see cedarsprings.ca, they're in Canada, /escape. Do I like that? I like some of it. I like the /escape because that's a trackable mechanism. They're not only going to my website, they're going to a specific page of my website, and I can track how many hits I get. I like that part. We'll get back to what I don't like. Bottom left-hand corner is their motto. Get away every day, and then their little symbol of a tie. It's a man's tie. That's the symbol for this company. Get away every day. You like that? Is that a man's tie? What is it? Yeah. Let me ask you a question. You think this company has enough money to brand that logo, to brand that motto? You think they've got Coca-Cola money, Microsoft money, Chevrolet truck money? Do you think so? That's just clutter, folks, because it does not resonate with the audience. I would get rid of it. Then you see in the bottom right-hand corner the name of the company. I must like that, right? No, I don't like that. I'd get rid of that too, and I would bring it up here in boldface right in the middle of the ad after the word visit. cedarsprings.ca /escape. And I'd bring the picture down, make it bigger, because the picture is what's going to evoke the emotion. Does that make sense? And that's what's going to drive them to the website. Now, what's missing from this ad? No, not necessarily. That's a different marketing perspective, having people in the ads. Huh? Phone number. Uh-oh. Do you think we forgot it? Or is it on purpose? It is on purpose. That's right. The phone number being missing is because what I told you to write down earlier. What was it? What did I tell you to write down? Traditional drives digital. That's right. So by forcing them to go to the website, I'm forcing them to see a bunch of pictures of my products. And if they look at those pictures and go, "Oh, dear God, this isn't for me," good. That's good. I don't have to deal with them. But if they go there and they see beautiful pictures and they click, "I would like to be contacted," then I know I have the right audience. It's a pre-qualification tool. Now, this is a traditional marketing campaign, and I'm a big traditional marketing guy. I'm actually a big guerrilla marketing guy. I've read all the books, and I'm a big fan of it. So let's look at a guerrilla marketing campaign. It's called a business card. Who's ever heard of a business card? Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan of them. I like giving them out. This is from a company called AV Chicago. They supply AV services in the Chicagoland market. Very similar to what you see today with the screens and projectors and TVs and stages. They sell the ability to come in and set up. We have an AV company, AV360. Thank you, Arno. Does a great job for us. Now, across the middle of their business card, it says, friend us, like us, review us, refer us. Facebook, Yelp, and Google. Do you like that? Hell, it's bigger than their own logo. You like it? I love it. I think it's awesome because traditional drives digital. And this company cannot rent you any of these really cool things that you see around us, this stage and these TVs and screens and projectors, unless you can see them. And the only way you can see them is on Facebook, Yelp, and Google. So they are driving you to digital. Does that make sense? I love the middle part of that. Bottom left-hand corner says AV Chicago Incorporated. Show of hands, how many care that they are incorporated, or subchapter S, or C Corp, or sole proprietorship? Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, nobody. Does it need to be there? It's clutter. The message isn't clean. Show of hands, how many of you will mail them a Christmas card? Who's going to mail them a Christmas card? Stop putting your hand up, sir. Are you all right? Do we really need their address? Once we've been on Google, Yelp, and Yahoo, do we really need their address? Does it need to be there? It doesn't. Here's where we go completely off the rails. They have given us or put on a fax number. Think about it. Nothing says I'm keeping up with technology like a fax machine. Yeah. I don't know that that's necessary. Yeah, forget it. avchicago.com in the bottom right-hand corner. We like that? I hate it. I'll tell you why. You ready? When's the last time you sat in front of your computer, typed in www.anything, avchicago.com? When's the last time you did that? What do you type in? AV Chicago, whatever it is that you're looking for. Does it need to be there? No, it's written at the top. And once we cleared up the clutter on this business card, we can maybe add Instagram, or maybe we can add YouTube, or whatever it is, because traditional drives digital. That's right. So you look at every business card, you look at every piece of letterhead, invoice, lettering and signage at home shows everything, and make sure that you're driving that digital platform. Now, what do I mean by digital? I mean this, what you see on the screen. You should be taking pictures of the screen right now. Please do. Write it down. Take a picture of the screen. We're going to talk about unique meta descriptions, meta alt tags, XML sitemaps. XML is a computer language. 301 redirects and real equals no follow. These are the 5 actionable change items that will help you optimize your website. Let's start at the top with unique meta descriptions. What is that? It's an HTML, that's a language, a computer language, attributes that provide concise explanation of the contents of your website. Now, what does that mean? That means Google and Bing and Yahoo and GoDaddy and all these search engines don't know what's on your website. And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense because there's lots of words and lots of stuff there. They should know. They're computers. Computers don't know unless you tell them in a language, HTML, that they can read. It's shit like this. I don't know if you know what that is. Or you can write that. I can't write that. I'd have to hire somebody. But that tells the computer what is on your website, so that when somebody is searching for information, this data helps direct them to you. Make sense? Now, there's a picture on the screen. What is that a picture of? What is it a picture of? Bag of Doritos. You know what it is. I know what it is. If you're from Colorado, you know what it is. It's a marijuana joke. Okay. Yeah. Does Google know that's a bag of Doritos? No, because Google's a computer. Google knows ones and zeros. It knows language. So what you see highlighted here in yellow is what's called a meta alt tag. It describes to Google what's in that picture. It tells it that that is relevant. Now, what does that mean to you? That means that every single picture that you have on your website needs to have a meta alt tag describing what's in it. Is it a Prescott wall? Is it a rain harvesting system? Is it Antica in Onyx Black? What is it in that picture that would be relevant to somebody searching on the internet? And you need to put it in a meta alt tag. Otherwise, the computer doesn't know what's in the picture and completely disregards it. It might even think there's bad content there and send less people to your website and reduce your organic traffic. Make sense? Okay? Every single picture has to have a meta alt tag. If you don't know how to do it, I don't, you have to hire somebody starting tomorrow to make sure that that's there. Now, let's talk about sitemaps in XML language. Now, what does this mean, a sitemap in XML language? Let's assume this. Let's assume you're leaving here today very excited about the new Travertino Raw paver. Really think that here in the Connecticut market, Hartford, people are just going to go crazy for it. So you want to add a couple pages to your website about this new product. Permeable, interlocking, you can drive on it, rock salted, plow it. I mean, it's that product you think's really, and if you really do this, thank you very much, right? If you do not tell Google, Bing, Yahoo, all these different search engines, that those 2 pages are part of the overall website, it doesn't know. So it'll rank those 2 new pages separate and your old website separate, which means you haven't updated your old website in a while, and it will automatically reduce your organic traffic. It'll rate this small website separate and the overall separate, and both will have very poor traffic. So how do you solve that? You submit a sitemap in XML language to the search engine. You hire somebody to do this and say that these 2 pages are part of the overall. They are new and there's great content there. And now you will increase the amount of traffic you get. Now here's my guess. My guess is that over the years, you've added things to your website and not done this. So the computer doesn't know that they are part of the overall. So it ranks these 2 pages and those 3 pages and these 5 pages and maybe those 10 as separate. So your overall organic traffic is poor because everything you've added hasn't helped you. It's actually hurt you. So make sure you get a sitemap in XML language done. Okay. Now, 301 redirect, 404 error. What does this mean? Okay. Earlier I said I'm a hot rodder. I'm into cars and trucks and all that kind of stuff. I own a bunch of Jeeps, actually. I'm kind of a Jeep freak. And I buy lots of Jeep parts online. You know, I'm online looking on the computer, and I find some Jeep parts. I mean, I gotta have them. So I gotta go to Mamacita, my wife. She's German, so it'd be appropriate to call her Mamacita. That's what I call her. I said, Mamacita, I need to buy this part. I absolutely no. It is not in our budget this month for those parts. I'm like, shit. Okay. So I wait a month or sometimes 2, and I get to the point where I gotta have these parts, right? So I go back to the website, type in the website. Now I got 404 error. Wait a minute, what happened? I was just on that website. I must have misspelled something. I type it in again, 404 error. Like, wait a minute. I know I was just here, right? I have to check my spelling. Maybe I'm going to try it a 3rd time because I really want these parts or services or whatever it is. I type it in, I get 404 error again. Now I'm like, forget it. I'll buy those parts somewhere else, sometime else, whatever. I'll look somewhere else. What happened? What happened is whatever company that was I was looking for has updated their website. And when they updated their website, they closed the old one and opened a new one. When they did that, they failed to put a 301 redirect on the old one. So my computer knows it's been there before, takes me to the old one, nothing's there, 404 error. So anytime you close any page or the entire site and open a new one, you have to put a 301 redirect on it. Otherwise, people that are looking for you are getting 404 error. Does that make sense? So my guess is this, that over the years, you have closed down pages, maybe entire sites, failed to put 301 redirect on it, and your customers that were looking for you couldn't find you because they got 404 error. So make sure somebody is hired to go back through and make sure that everything has a 301 redirect on it. Now, real equals no follow. What does this mean? Who's got a website with a Facebook link on it? Website with a Facebook link. Of course, you'd be crazy not to. Absolutely. Right? I can tell you, my wife, she goes online, sees that Facebook link, goes, oh, I love Facebook. I know how to navigate it. I'm on it. I like it. It's cool. I can find what I'm looking for. And she clicks on it and goes there. Now, that's great for your customers. That's bad for your website. And what do I mean by that? I mean by that is that Google knows that you have sent somebody from them to Facebook. And they get mad at you because they want people to stay on the Google platform, not jump over to Facebook. So they're mad at you. So they reduce your organic traffic. They reduce your strength or energy. They reduce your quantity of Google juice. It's real. It's real. I mean, it doesn't come in a gallon and it's not orange. But Google juice is real. Don't think it's not. Google gets mad at you and will reduce the amount of traffic and organic traffic you get to your website if you don't put a real equals no follow on all links. So hire somebody, get them to do it, keep your Google juice, keep your organic traffic. It's real, not a joke. It's kind of funny, but it is true. Okay? Good. All right. Now, let's talk about search engine marketing and social media marketing, because what we've been talking has been strategic and tactical. Now we're getting into what's going to actually cost you money. And when there's money involved, there's usually a strategy and tricks that you got to follow. So I'm going to play a trick on you, and if you catch it, then we'll talk about how we can use search engine marketing to our advantage. Okay, you ready? We're going to do a little trick. Here it is. The top of the screen, I type in my name, Techo-Bloc, B-L-O-C. Who shows up first when I type that in? No, Techo-Bloc shows up first. But what's below my name? Ad. Ad. What does ad mean? What does that mean? What does that mean, ad? That means I paid. Wait, why would I pay? This is the trick, folks. Listen. Why would I pay to make sure when somebody types in my name, I show up first? Huh? No. 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 I would show up first. They type my name in. Huh? You don't want theirs to show up first? No, I would be first. Who else can, this is the important part, who else can buy that name? Anybody is right. That's absolutely right. Anybody can buy my name and show up first, second, or third if I don't defend my home turf. So I buy my own name to make sure, even though organically I did show up first, you see me there, right? I did show up first. I make sure that I will be first. So let's convert that to something maybe more relevant to landscape contracting. I'm Paver Pete. You guys know me as Paver Pete. And I work a lot. I travel a lot. And sometimes I forget I'm not at work. So my wife and I might be out somewhere, and somebody says hello, and I go, hi, my name is Paver Pete. Shit, I forgot. Not at work. And they go, why do they call you that? Do you sell brick patios? No. I sell paving stone patios and walkways and driveways and pool decks and permeable pavements. And I'm very funny about it. I don't sell bricks. I haven't installed a brick patio in, 20 years or more, I'm sure. I am a paving stone guy. But what's the important thing about that phrase, brick patio? Did they mean clay bricks that are fired in a kiln? Yeah, probably not. What did they mean? An outdoor living space. They meant a patio. They just put that word in there. So even though you may not install brick patios, you may want to buy that phrase so that people in your local market who type it in will find you. Let's do another one. You're there, you're talking to the homeowner. So you open up the sliding glass door and the lady says to you, we would like to get a cement pad right outside this back door. Can you do that for us? Can you give us a cement pad? No, I can't. Because cement is a powder. It's an ingredient in concrete. To build you a cement pad is impossible outdoors because it'll eventually rain and it'll become concrete. It'll become concrete. So no, ma'am, I can't build you a cement pad. But do people in your local market still use that phrase? Cement pad or cement patio. Yeah, it's very common. You actually hear it on TV quite a bit on HGTV. right? And people say cement pad, cement patio, cement foundation. It's impossible, but they still use it. So, if they're using that term, they're probably searching that term, and I'd want to own it. Does that make sense? So I can invest $1, I can invest 10, 100, 1,000, $10,000 to make sure that anybody's typing in that phrase finds me first, second, or third, whatever ranking I would like. Let's do one more. I'm going to say a word. You tell me the first thing that comes to mind, okay? Deck. Huh? Wood. You say patio. But most people think wood right away. In our business, when somebody says deck, we think outdoor living space. And a lot of homeowners think that too. Let's let the dogs out onto the deck to play. Let's let the kids out on the deck to play in the backyard. Do they mean a wood structure with railing around it? No, they mean somewhere outside where they're not in the mud, they're not in the grass, they're not in the snow, all that kind of good stuff. So we want to make sure that we own those terms. And here's the great thing about it, folks. We can invest any amount of money we want, for any time period we want, for any demographic we want, and we can stop it and start it at any time we want. That's the power of digital marketing and search engine marketing. Let's do social media marketing. This is a Facebook landing page, a corporate page for a company. And if you're still running your company out of your personal Facebook page, you got to stop, because you can't take advantage of everything you can corporately. You see here, Plantinet's Landscape Group. Plantinet's is the company that built that 8.5-foot tall wall up in Montreal, Canada. You see home, post, reviews, videos, photos, about, client center. Here's what's important. Liked, following, and recommended. Now, what do we do here? We can invest a little bit of time, not necessarily money, but time, to make sure that we get a lot of likes and we get a lot of follows from people that we've worked with. So that when we post great pictures like this, that's our industrial slabs, that's our graphics wall, and you want more and more people to see it, well, the more that people like it and follow it, the more it'll show up in their feed, and the more it'll show up in their friends' feed, and we get some multiplication of effort. We can even take it a step further and even pre-write some recommendations. 1, 2, 3-sentence recommendations. You should be writing this stuff down, folks. Pre-write your recommendations. Send them out to those clients that you know love you. They love the work you did. They can't wait to have another project to get you back to their house, and send it to them. And say, do you mind posting this recommendation on my Facebook page? And they will. And tell them, feel free to modify it, add to it, subtract from it. You make it that much easier for them to go on there and recommend you and review you. It is worth the effort. Now, that's all organic traffic. Takes time, takes effort. But if this picture is really the picture of the job that you want, well, you want everybody to see. You want to make sure that, women in Hartford, Connecticut, between the ages of 35 and 55, who are on Facebook, see that picture. And you don't want to risk the fact that it may organically show up in their newsfeed. Can you do that? Sure. Yeah, it's called a boosted ad. It's right here. Suggested post sponsored, meaning they paid for it. So you can pay, again, $1, $10, $100, $1,000, $10,000 for women between 35 and 55 that are on Facebook and that are scrolling down through it. You can even pick the time period between April 1st and April 15th. You want to take advantage of tax refund checks. It's really not a refund, it's your money. Never mind, little tax humor. Yeah, you can make sure it shows up in their feed. Let me tell you something else. If you don't even want to take the chance that they miss it, you can create a banner ad. And again, invest as much money as you want, and you can do all three of them to maximize your market penetration. Does that make sense? And again, this can be turned on or off at any time you want. You can say on April 7th, I have gotten so many leads from this picture being out there that I want to stop and not spend any more money. Save that in my little account, and I'll start spending it again in the fall months or in August or September, whatever the case might be. Does that make sense? And another great thing about this, it is forever. Once it's out there, it's out there. A magazine ad, even in a doctor's office, eventually gets thrown away. Do we agree? This is out, it's out. Okay, what can Techo-Bloc do to help you here? Well, we can help you increase your digital footprint. How do we do that? We call it the online village, and it works through our Techo-Pro program, meaning you must be licensed, you must be insured, you must be in good credit standing with your dealer, because if you don't pay your bills, you're not good to anybody. You must be industry certified, and we will go check your work to be a Techo-Pro. What do you get? You get access to the online village, a landing page where Techo-Bloc, 760 dealers in 33 states and 10 provinces, and thousands of like-minded contractors like you put their before and after pictures. Put the areas that they influence and want to reach, the services they provide, why they feel they're better, their hours of operation, their website, their social media. All of their data is there, and yours should be too. And if you get on board with Techo-Pro, you get a landing page on the village with fellow contractors, dealers, and us at a total cost to you of zero. It costs you nothing, folks. Get on board with the village, and it will drive more people to your web and your social media, because that's the whole point of it. We pool our efforts, they come and see it, and then they can leave to go to your website, your email, anywhere they want.